So let's go ahead and actually group a bunch of sheets and perform some additional formula development, and those new formulas will go onto all of the sheets that we have selected as in our group. So in order to select within a group, we're going to use the Shift key. This is not any different than you have done for other formula development in the past, where you're selecting multiple cells within your sheets. You use the Shift key to grab things from the beginning to the end. So I'm going to select the January sheet. I'm going to hold the Shift key down on my keyboard, and I'm going to go and select all the way through December. So notice that all of the sheet tabs have turned, have highlighted. They're in bold. And look at the top here. My sheet name has, or my file name now has the word group in there. So I know that I've got multiple sheets selected. Those are your only two visual clues that tell you that you have multiple sheets selected. Okay, so I have all of my sheets selected. I'm really sitting on, my active sheet is sitting January. The other sheets that I have selected using my group, whatever I do on the January sheet will happen on the February, the March, the April, the May, June, and so on sheets. Okay, so let's go ahead and create some formulas here for the income, the expenses, and the balance. So for the income summary, in the month of January, we want the monthly income to sum up together to create a total summary of income. So again, this is a refresher from prior chapters. So we're going to put the sum function. I'm going to select these cells and sum up all of the income, my sources of income, and put the total amount in cell F11. We're going to do the same for the expenses. I'm going to do the sum. I'm going to grab all of the cells that I want and close the parentheses and hit enter. I'm going to put the balance formula in here now. The balance should be my income minus my expenses. That tells me how much I have left over every month. Perfect. So now I have $690 on January left after all of my income and my expenses have been removed. Let's quickly look at February. Notice that those formulas have calculated automatically or are put into those cells in the February sheet. I can check October. Same happened in October. The income formula, the expenses formula, the balance formula happened as well. So that's a brief introduction to how grouping works. Now, the other thing that we want to put in here is this formula that calculates the percentage of income spent. Again, this is a refresher from other weeks, but it's always helpful to refresh what's going on. So we want to do our percent of income spent. So if we think about that, what that formula should look like, we have a total amount of income here of $2,600. We've spent about $2,000. So if you had to determine what the percentage of income would be, how would you do that? Well, you're going to, your total amount of income spent would be your divisor, what you would use to divide the value. So a quick way to think about it is if you had $100 to spend, or you had $100 of income to spend, and you spent $10 of that income, what would your percent of the income that you spent be? It would be 10 divided by 100, or 10%. So let's use that same logic, and we're going to create the formula that says what the percent of income is. So we start all of our formulas with an equal sign. We're going to take our spending, our total expenses, that's how much we spent, divided by how much of our income or how much income that we had for the month. And I should expect to see if it's $2,600 for income and I spent about $2,000, it's probably in the, I don't know, I'm estimating 70-ish%. We'll hit enter and, oh, well, my math's a little wrong, but 74%. Let's check out February. February's percent happened, March percents happened, and so on. This bar here that's showing is based on the formatting option that we learned in a prior chapter where it fills in the bar. So it's that data bar based on this value, 74%. This is 67, so it's showing you how much in just a visual to see. Okay, so that's grouping sheets. Now, to be sure that you don't continue, watch, I'm sitting in the January sheet right now. If I put this is January, and I've forgotten that I have these things all grouped together, if I look on the February sheet, uh-oh, it happened on the February sheet, happened on the March sheet as well. Well, that's not what I want to have happen. So let me get rid of that. And now I have to say, Excel, stop grouping these sheets together because I just want to work on the January sheet right now. So come down to the sheet area, right-click, and hit the Ungroup Sheets. Shoot! Now, notice that all of the sheets that were bolded together before are no longer bolded, and I am indeed only working on the January sheet. Let's check out February. Yay, it did not happen in February. So that's grouping and ungrouping sheets. You can see how quickly you can add formulas across the multiple sheets to show up. Perfect. It's really a very handy feature to know.